This is not just an idea that Kirsten or Jeff or I and a few others thought of. This is a struggle for the heart and soul of who we are as American people.
True fact.
And this struggle will be opposed, let us be clear about it,
Yes, it will be.
by some of the most powerful forces in the United States.
Independent Senator and presidential candidate Bernie Sanders unveiling a revamped version of his signature Medicare-for-All proposal. The single-payer plan would completely upend the current health care system in favor of one that guarantees coverage for every American. But it comes with a staggering price tag. Number one, some estimates suggest that it could cost between $25 and $35 trillion over a 10-year period. Co-sponsoring the legislation are some of Sanders' 2020 rivals in the Senate, Cory Booker, Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren. Senator Gillibrand joined Sanders at the Medicare-for-All rollout this morning. She says letting Americans initially buy into Medicare would help smooth the transition to single-payer.
If you let Americans decide today that you can buy into Medicare for a small percentage of your income, you are creating a not-for-profit public option that is good, high-quality health care now. I dare any insurance company to just try to compete.
Republicans are slamming the proposal, with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell calling it a, quote, far-left socialist experiment. White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway also weighing in this morning.
This is a government takeover. Folks, when you hear government insurance, don't just hear the word insurance, hear the word government. I gave birth 4 times. I didn't want Uncle Sam and Big Brother in there with me. I mean, wake up, everybody. This is the healthcare version of the Green New Deal. The underlying ideology, government is coming to take over one of the most intimate parts of your life, your healthcare.
I'm going to Melissa Francis because she was muttering under her breath. So the Medicare as it exists today hospital trust fund goes broke in 6 years, and then it would only be able to pay out 91 cents on the dollar. I wanted to point that out. 7 years, 2026. So this is the whole point of this. This upends the entire healthcare system, and we cannot pay for it.
Right. Well, the reason why Medicare works is because people use 4 times as much in dollar terms as they pay in. So it's heavily subsidized by everyone else. So it feels great because you're getting a lot of stuff. You're not paying a lot of money. I think it's folly to sit back and point at what's wrong with everyone else's plan, because no one has a plan that's going to work 100%. It's very easy to be a critic. I think it's wrong to destroy the whole system in order to fix a little part. My proposal would be to start with step 1, which would be, if you look at the fact that 5% of the population spends 50% of the healthcare dollars, why don't we put those people in a high-risk pool, focus all the government money on them? We can lay off that risk in reinsurance, put some money people on it. Wall Street would gobble up that reinsurance. We could focus on one part of the problem, fix it, and see how much that alleviates. I don't know. I mean, to dismantle the whole thing leaves a lot of people out in the cold. To try and fix the whole thing in one shot, we've tried and it didn't work. Why don't we take one huge step and see how it does? But right now, sitting on the sideline, it's so easy to point and say what's wrong with someone else's plan, because there's something wrong with everyone's plan.
What nomination are you running for?
Myself? Yeah. I'm going to be healthcare czar right now.
Because again, at its core, Marie, the way that this plan works is it gets rid of private insurance, period. And that's 150 to 180 million people in America would lose their insurance and be forced onto the government plan. That was certainly his original idea.
So I think what we saw during the repeal and replace debacle, and also in part as we talk about Medicare for All, is that what many Americans don't want is blowing up the entire system and being worried if they will lose their health care. That's why repeal and replace wasn't popular, right, on the Republican side. I think you will have a diversity of opinion inside the Democratic Party, and my guess is the eventual nominee will land somewhere in the lane of, let's fix Obamacare, let's maybe drastically fix parts of it, and take some ideas from Bernie, take some ideas from other people. But I actually think the eventual
politician never does it, though, on the left or the right.
But the eventual Democratic there are a lot of Democratic candidates who they do not want to blow up the system. They want to fix and make better Obamacare, and I think
not the ones I mentioned. though. They all signed on to Bernie's original plan.
But those people also aren't, except for Bernie, aren't polling at the top. If you look at Biden, if you look at Pete Buttigieg, they are not for blowing up the system.
That was yesterday's Democrat Party. That's wishful DC establishment.
Those are the people leading leading the polls today, Pete.
He's not even a candidate yet because he can't run far enough to the left to be viable to the base. The soul of the Democrat Party today is government-run health care. Bernie Sanders, the previous chairmanship he held was at the VA, where his idea was to throw billions of dollars at the problem and make it better. We've already had government-run health care, administered health care in this country. It's the VA. And why are everyone running for private choice options? Because it hasn't worked, even on a $7 million pool of people. He wants this for 330 million Americans. It's not even remotely grounded in reality. Yeah. It will fail, and but it doesn't matter. The election,
real quick, Katie, the VA. This is government health care. Negligence, falsified records, gross mismanagement that we've known about literally for decades.
We have an example of that. You can look across the pond now and see that people in England are going blind because they're rationing care in their Medicare-for-All system that they have there. Guaranteed coverage is not guaranteed health care, first of all. But this is the reason why you saw President Trump taking on this fight of health care a couple of weeks ago, because Democrats are taking it on. They're putting out a plan, and he's saying we need to counter this with an argument. We can't, in a plan, we can't just sit back and let the Democrats cede this argument to the Democrats. And he's absolutely right. So for Mitch McConnell to criticize the plan is fine, but he's still ceding the argument to them because they're not coming up with their own legislative solution. So the White House and President Trump are right to take this fight on because it's going to be a huge issue on the 2020 campaign trail, as you just saw all of those candidates lining up behind Bernie to talk about it. So Republicans would do well.
Call me. I have step one. Call me. I've got step one.
Well, let me just, when you hear Democrats telling you that their single payer plan is going to drive down health care costs, that might be true because people are going to die waiting for heart transplants. And we've seen it around the world. It's the doggone truth.
If they can't take care of vets,
we got to go.
They're not going to take care of everybody.
Thank you. Say it again. Say that again.
No, if you can't take care of vets, there's no way we take care of all Americans.
Don't get mad at saying when Democrats say people are going to die on Republican health care. You just said the same thing, Dagen.
I did, because you see it happening.
Okay, guys,
I sure did, and I'm not running for office either. The border crisis.